cold start. It sounds surprisingly calm, doesn't it? So it's a flat 4 Subaru engine. That's how they do their engines. They sound amazing. They've got like a nice, I won't rev it because it's cold, but they've got a nice purr to them. But obviously it's not as leery as my Golf R because that's had loads of stuff done to it. But it is a WRX S, and that makes it a little bit more special than your average WRX. So I actually had this car come in last night. I've got a bit of knowledge on it now, so I'm going to do a little video on it today. I'm actually going to the gym right now. I'm then getting my hair cut. I don't really know how I'm going to film this, but today, purely a video on this Subaru WRX S, alright? Let's get on. Right, Subaru Impreza then. Very quick introduction on me. My name's Calvin. I'm a car trader and I basically film whatever comes in stock and I get it on the channel, alright? So today, obviously, I'm in the Subaru WRX S Impreza, which is quite a special car, like I said just now. And I have actually had one of these Subarus before, no, do you know what? I had a WRX STI. I think I've done a brief video on it on my channel about 3 years ago. But that was a pretty cool car. In fact, the STIs from memory have like a drive select mode down here, which is quite a nice thing. So this one being a WRX S, maybe that doesn't have that. I'm not too like massively clued up on the whole Subaru range, but I do know a little bit of knowledge about this one in particular, alright? So the first thing you notice when you get into a Subaru, and I haven't been in one for bloody ages. In fact, that STI that we had was probably the last Subaru that I drove. And that, like I said, that was a good few years ago. Got stuff in the boot, rolling around. There it goes again. And yeah, so the first thing you notice is the sound of the engine. Yeah, like I said, when I started it, it doesn't actually roar like you'd expect it would, because it's got stock exhaust and stuff like that. But they do have a lovely purr to them. Now, Subaru engine, for those that don't know, is a flat 4, and a flat 4 is basically, rather than the cylinders, all 4 cylinders being in line and going up and down, they have 4 cylinders in the way of, they're laid flat, so 2 on each side, and they sort of coming out almost like a V engine but flat, yeah? And that's what gives it that nice purr sound. And when you look under the bonnet of a Subaru, it looks like nothing else. They're just, you can't see, in fact, it doesn't look too glamorous unless you change all like the engine components under the bonnet. You don't see much engine, you just see loads of the components outside of the engine. So it's not as attractive under the bonnet as what some cars are. So yeah, the sound is something that is really appealing. Now, I had a Mitsubishi Evo 10 for a long time, yeah? So those that have been around on my channel for a few years will know that for a period of time I had this Evo 10, and the reason why I had the Evo 10, why did I get that car? In fact, that car just came in stock, and it came in as an item of stock, not as a stock car. It came in as an item of stock, and I thought I really like this car, so I put my diary number plate on it, and God, this is quick. Yeah, I put my diary number plate on it, and it became my car. And I always loved Evos. I'm a massive Evo fan. I'm also a Subaru fan, but I've just always preferred Evos. They've just been a bit more hardcore in my opinion, but they have always been a lot more money as well. So although they are compared massively, they're always a bit more money, so they're not really a comparable car, but they are on the market. Like Subaru and Mitsubishi have always been a competitor of each other, which is I suppose they would. They're both four-wheel drive, 4-cylinder turbo engines, and they're rally derived cars, so they're very, very, very similar. But the Subaru, like I say, has always been priced a little bit lower than the Evo. So another reason why I am also a huge fan of Subaru Imprezas is because me and Leon, my brother and business partner, we used to have a car showroom in a little village called Markyate it was about 10 years ago. And a car that we stocked a lot of was Subaru Imprezas, and at the time a reasonably priced 2.5 was something that we would stock a lot, because when I say reasonably priced, I mean like middle of the market. They'd just become into play where they were a bit more affordable, a bit like where this is in the market at the minute. These cars sit at about around £7,000, which is it's a great affordable car for that type of money. There isn't many sports cars that you can get for that kind of money. So yeah, we used to stock a lot of them at around the similar price point, and at that time you could get like a real nice 2.5. That's when they introduced a 2.5 engine, which was obviously 500 cc's more than the previous 2-litre engine. And when you got one of them engines just remapped, literally just remapped it and got an extra sort of 40 horsepower out of it or whatever, and brought the torque curve up in the middle, it transformed the car. So we used to buy a standard 2.5 WRX, get it remapped, put a spoiler on the back, I think. I can't remember what we used to do. Buy the gold wheels for them, so blue WRX, buy gold wheels for it, put a big spoiler on the back, if it didn't have one already, that is, because that was an option, and get it remapped, and it would just be a serious car. And I used to love them cars. And when you've got like, it's 1 degree today, obviously there's no snow or nothing on the ground, it does make a Subaru a great all year round car. They're just such a good all-rounder. 5 doors. Obviously, again, later on down the line, they introduced this one, which is a hatchback. Mitsubishi never done that, which was quite an odd thing, really, because hatchbacks tend to hold money better on the used market, and 2, I would say they fit into more people's lives better than anything else. But yeah, so Subaru probably made quite a good move there, to going for the hatchback thing. And the STI that we had was actually a saloon. I remember taking that in and thinking, the new ones it does pull so nice. Yeah, it was, I don't know, it was odd to see the new shape Subaru in a saloon, and I quite liked it, to be honest with you. So, wow, see, what's surprising about this car, it almost pulls like and sounds like a 5-cylinder Audi engine. That's what it feels like. It's really odd, and it's got a slow Honda Civic in front of me now, but it pulls well. Obviously got a turbo on it. The standard Subaru Impreza, if you were to buy a WRX without the S badge on the end of it, what do you get? What's the difference? The difference is this car is 250 brake horsepower. Let me start again. The difference is a stock Subaru Impreza, I think, is about 225 brake horsepower, maybe a little bit more than that. And it doesn't have certain things that this car has. This car, from factory, comes out at a tiny bit more brake horsepower. It's about 250, so it's not massive, and it is just a remap by Prodrive, okay? Prodrive, I think, are a company that work alongside Subaru. This has also got a Prodrive exhaust tip. Could have been there from factory, that may have been put on after. Also, so it's got a little bit more power, but also it's got a couple of the STI exterior stuff. I think it's like a boot spoiler, a lower lip spoiler. It's just a couple of things that make it look a bit more sporty. The STI mud flaps, by the way, they're not meant to be on the car, I don't think. I disagree with things like that. It's a bit like people that put M3 badges on their M Sport BMW. It's just a bit, I don't know, it's a bit of a contradiction. But yeah, I'm at the gym now. Let me just, have I filmed enough? Have I actually filmed? I've definitely not. I've only filmed for a little while. So what I'll do is I'll quickly go bang out my gym session, and then we'll talk more when I come back, yeah? So that's it then. I've had a fresh haircut, I've been to the gym, I've had a shower, I feel fresh, but I think more than anything, Something that I'm really pleased about. Obviously I'm pleased about the Subaru in the background there, lovely car, but look at the bloody weather. Look, we've got sunshine. It's actually going to be, apparently going to be 12 degrees today, which for us right now in England is unheard of. We had a horrible winter, but it's been bloody cold. So by the time this video goes live in a couple of weeks time, I'm sure there'll be a bit more nice weather, but right now it's like the first day of sunshine, so it's nice to see that. But obviously in the background I've got the Subaru, yeah, and I thought I'd come here. This is like my favourite filming spot. This is Dunstable Downs, obviously in Dunstable, and we're at the top of some nice hills, and it's just a good little scenery, so I come here quite a lot to do filming. So the Subaru, yeah, spin the mic around, that's better. Yeah, so I thought I'd park it here because I wanted to show you around the outside of it, because it's just such a bloody good looking car. It, you know, like you've got things like the bonnet scoop on the bonnet there, it just looks bloody savage, doesn't it? The WRX S, by the way, has got these graphite wheels. They look really nice. It's got the yellow decals. I don't know if they were something from factory or if they were done after factory. I'm not sure about that, but they look really cool. It's got pearl white paint as well. I forgot to say about that. Pearl white is like one of my favourite colours ever. If you look at that in the sun glare, it just looks amazing. So pearl white paint. Obviously blues are quite a common colour, but pearl white looks amazing. It's got the crystal backlights, the Prodrive exhaust tip there. If I get out the sun, you can see that. When my camera decides to wake up, yeah, there you go, look at that. Bottom splitter looks amazing. The STI flaps, to be fair, it ain't an STI, but they do go well in theme with the whole car. They've got the big spoiler at the top there, which, like I said, I think that's part of the WRX S package. And yeah, I'm just really happy with the way this car looks. So what we'll do is we'll jump back inside and we'll continue going. Oh, in fact, let's look at the inside quickly. Interior, yeah, obviously as with every Japanese car, they do lack slightly on the interior, but it's a lovely place to be. Everything's where it should be. It's got a 5-speed manual gearbox, a decent steering wheel, and it's a nice place to sit and drive the car. So what we'll do, we'll jump back in it and we'll go for another little drive, all right? Obviously there is this feeling of when you drive any stock car, there's this feeling of it feels suppressed, it feels like it's holding back, it feels like it's got so much more potential, especially cars with a turbo, yeah, and generally they have stacked more potential. Now you've got to understand that when a turbocharged car or any car comes out of the factory, there's this big trade-off for manufacturers, and they've either got to go all out with power, but then they'll sacrifice on emissions and cost for road tax and stuff like that, or they do the other way and they go all out with emissions and stuff and get that right, but then they sacrifice with power. So with a performance car, it's hard getting that balance right. So Prodrive, like I say, have tuned this car to 250-ish brake horsepower, and I know full well, you and I know full well, that they are capable of getting so much more power out of this. Now, this 2.5 engine has so much potential. Back in, like I said earlier, when we used to buy these cars, or the earlier 2.5 Subaru Imprezas, and just get a remap done on them, it just transforms the way the car drives. And I said it with the Audi S3 recently, the way that car drives in comparison to the stock car is just so much better. And I don't want to stand here and say every stock car in the world with a turbo that comes out of the factory needs a remap, but to be fair, this does pull extremely well, but it does make so much difference. Now I think, to summarise this video, Subaru, yeah, Subaru Impreza WRX S. What is the summary of this video? It's Japanese. That's one corner I really want to fight. Like my dad's German, yeah, I've got a German surname. I love German cars, but I'm a huge Jap fan because they're more raw, they're more about the drive. No, I wouldn't say more about the driver. They're just more of performance enhanced or performance focused. Is that a fair thing to say? I don't even know if that is a fair thing to say. They've just got a completely different flavour or vibe to a German car, and they really do serve that purpose perfectly. If you jump into an S2000, manual gearbox, VTEC engine, it's a proper raw driver's car. You drive into a Civic Type R, a Mitsubishi Evo, a Subaru Impreza, you know, all these cars, they're amazing cars. They do lack, like I say, on the interior. This interior, let's face it, it's not too attractive, but it's a serious car. And I think with the whole Japanese thing, that is exactly where they fit in the market perfectly. And if you dislike them for them reasons, well, surely you've got to take that on board and maybe consider that you might like them for all of the other reasons, for what they're actually good for. Now, the Subaru Impreza, right, is, I think anyone that buys a Subaru Impreza, and this kind of applies to anything. If you buy a Mitsubishi Evo, even if you buy a Jag, that's a random, different, completely different choice of car, but people will buy a Jag or a Lotus or an Aston Martin because of its past, because of its, what's the word I'm looking for? Heritage. That's the word I'm looking for. And Subarus and Mitsubishi, Subaru Imprezas and Mitsubishi Evos have got this rally presence, they've got this rally history, they've got this thing about them, they're a four-wheel drive rally car. And I know full well that every person that buys an Evo or a Subaru Impreza has that in their mind. They know that they're buying a rally-bred road car. And I think that this car, even today, it's very different to the old school sort of Colin McRae Subaru Impreza that we all remember, but it's got that past, it's got that history, it's got that, I've forgotten the word again, it's got that heritage. And I think that is all that matters. And I think every single person that buys one of these cars buys it with that in mind. And I think that's the best way to summarize this video. Subaru Imprezas, they are special. They're amazing cars. Look at that, the way it just puts the power down. This is a stock car, yeah? It drives unbelievably well. It's got a manual gearbox, it's four-wheel drive, and the bottom line is, it's got that racing heritage. It's a four-wheel drive rally car. So I think I'm done now, but anyone that does buy a Subaru Impreza, and I get there's a lot of people that dislike these cars, I know there is. Me for one, I'm the opposite, I think they're brilliant. But if I was to own this car, I would have to put an exhaust system on it and get a small amount of tuning done to it, because I think it's so worth it. They sound amazing. I think they're one of the best sounding cars on the road. When you get an exhaust, but you can just about subtly hear that purr under the bonnet, but this is very tame. This is very much restricted because of, like I said, of the emissions thing. So I would get them things done to it, and I would enjoy being the owner and be very proud to be an owner of a car like this. I'm going to end it there. Have I summarised it well enough, do you think? I'm very impressed with this car. I think it's a brilliant choice of car, and price point as well. Let's talk about that. You can pick one of these up now for about £7,000. If for a high mileage one, maybe a bit less than that. This one's done 77,000 miles, so it might be a little bit more than £7,000 to sell. But such a bloody good choice of car for the money. Really is a good choice of car, and it will be something that you'll be proud to own. So yeah, Subaru Impreza WRX S. Thank you very much for watching. As ever, I am going to ask you to like the video. If you did like the video, do just hit that like button, yeah? Because that does help me a lot. It's your way of telling Google. It's your way of telling YouTube that the guy that made this video or whatever, this is a bloody good video. So you almost tell me that you like it, but you're also telling them, all right? So do hit the like button, hit subscribe if you're new to my channel. I've got all sorts of cars like this on my channel all the time. I love sort of middle price sports cars, sports hatches. This is very much me. So yeah, look out for more of this type of car on my channel. And that's it. See you in the next episode of Diary of a Car Trader, all right? Bye. In the next episode of Diary of a Car Trader, I do a whole video talking about a question that I get asked all the time. Should you right now buy something with a diesel engine?